Tennessee barn. Nice. There's Bays Mountain again. I'm further down west, so not too far though. That's the Allendale barn at the Allendale mansion. And the Allendale trees. Allendale fishing. Allendale ducks. Yeah, it's nice. These are some of the Kingsport citizens. After the second prayer vigil, spring is nearing. After the second prayer vigil, just kept working on the website really. We'd get different things to put on, different updates, some stuff on the blog. Every once in a while we'd shoot a little text to Don, but either he wasn't on Facebook much or he just wasn't for communicating. So I didn't talk to him anymore. Didn't see him in person. Just would receive the things that we were adding to the site. And quite a bit of time went by actually. You guys got it made. Yeah. And somewhere through there, the prayer vigil was August 3rd, and I believe it was quite a bit later into September before Don asked me to manage the news media and those entertainment situations that were suddenly rising up with things like Dr. Phil and the behavior panel. And so mostly through August was just keeping things going. Not much really. I mean, you can go to the blog and you can basically see all the events that were occurring in that time frame. And there was a day that I was out of the city somewhere else, and when I was coming back I was heading back in eastward, so I thought, you know, I think I will stop, take the side road here, stop at the Wells house, see if they're home, and really give an official introduction of myself, because they probably don't even remember me at the prayer meetings at all. Their mind had plenty of other to think about, and I was kind of starting to feel bad. I'm working using their pictures that they're sending. I mean, just doing all this work, and they really don't know who I am. And like I said, I wasn't really having any direct communication with them at all. We used to come to dances here when I was a young feller. I remember my sweetheart. We came walking right out of there. And this was a big farm. We're way up there where those houses are now. Big farm. Oh yes. I looked it up and found it. August 23rd. So the last prayer vigil was August 30th, and then on August 23rd is when Don accepted a friend request for me on Facebook. So kind of between that gap, you just had all the other going on, the stuff, the YouTubes, just all that stuff. And I would send him things or shoot him links for updates, but he never responded. There might have been one time it might have been thank you, but I'd have to go back and dig that out too, because once again, he probably didn't even remember who I was. He just knew I was doing it, and he was busy with his own life and situations. And so yeah, August 23rd. So that would have been, looking at the calendar, August 28th, when I decided I wanted to go by their house, or I should go by their house. I should make a proper introduction to them. You know, they call that good manners. There's the top of Bays Mountain through there. So I'm not very far west, except I am on the northern side of Bays Mountain. And the cars you see right there are on Highway 11W, I think one of the oldest roads in Tennessee. And about 45 minutes maybe, you get to Rogersville, where Don is right now. But this itself is Allendale Mansion. The one we were at the other day, Rotherwood Mansion, is not too far in that direction. We're in the Hawkins County. The Sullivan County line is just in front of us, not far. It's all still part of Kingsport. Yeah, when we were young too, remember we'd come here for big picnics, big church picnics. And that farm that would just go way back there, they'd take us on big hay rides where you sit on the back of a tractor pulling a cart full of hay bales, and you do that. That's where the dances were. I think I told you about my sweetheart. Yeah, she was a jewel. She's in heaven now. And so coming down the old road, it was kind of odd coming down that back road toward his house. A little unnerving. You know, a drop in, you know, hi, here I am, is a bit odd and peculiar, but I had no way really getting a hold of them. Didn't have their numbers, phone numbers, or anything. So I thought, well, it's a bold venture, but I'll just go up, and maybe they'll be outside and I can just let them know, hello, this is me. So made it to Ben Hill Road. You get a little bit of butterflies in the stomach. I didn't know, once again, I didn't know what I was driving up to. I mean, this is like the scene of a missing child, or is it the scene of a crime, or is it, you know, who knows? I mean, I'd heard so much stuff online, and negative, and all that was rambling on, and now we're, you know, we are at August 28th. So I guess about a month I had been working on the site. Yeah, because that was around July, I think I said July 27 or something like that, when we started the site. And we, meaning myself and the family. And so being in the end of August, we're talking June, July, August, so 2 months and a half now since summer was gone. But I still really didn't know. I mean, you know, this was kind of like not only treading on their turf, I kind of felt like I was treading on, you know, the investigation itself, just even going onto the property, or, you know, the TBI, or I didn't know. I really didn't. And so, you know, you turn on Ben Hill Road and all of a sudden you're there. You're actually there. I don't think I had been in that area since June 22nd, when I went just to observe and take pictures for the news site. Not the website, but the news. And there's a chance I could have driven back in there again, just driving through. I don't have any other pictures, so I don't think so. I just remember there were a lot of things that were going on through those weeks before that. You know, you would hear of, you know, people that were sneaking on the areas and various other stuff, you know. I don't want to call them witches, and I can't think of the name. Excuse me. If you're a psychic. Okay, psychic is the proper term. I did used to have a crush on Elizabeth Montgomery in Bewitched when I was little. I thought she was so pretty. So we get to Ben Hill, and here we are. Here I am, excuse me. Remember, we tend to say we when we're talking about ourselves in this area. Some say we, some say I, some say neither. And some say neither. Some say potato and some say potato. If you're cultured, you play the violin around here. If you're right on down to earth, you play the fiddle. Same instrument. Give or take probably thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, because violin players can have some amazing instruments. Okay. I doubt anybody's ever just used a Stradivarius violin to play a fiddle. So we get to Ben Hill Road, the Ben Hill Road. And I was always calling it the wrong name. I'm bad with names. I juggle my names. Like I said, I read Summerwells, and then when I posted it on my one Facebook, I write Summer Cells. Just a brain deficiency, I guess. But it was Ben Hill Road, because even then I kept calling it something else. But it was actually the Ben Hill Road. I got to the driveway. I looked up the driveway. I said, well, I don't know what I'm going on to. I mean, I may get up there and they scream, get off the property. And all sorts of appropriate terminology to make that happen. I'd pulled the four-wheel drive shaft out of the car because it had a bad bearing, so I was on the two wheels. And I thought, well, let's see what she does. Up the driveway we went. Not nearly aggressive enough. And we just sat there and basically got stuck. So I rolled back down. Thought, okay, we'll try something different. Because there are a lot of real geographical valleys and mountaintops on the driveway. And so we tried again. Let's do this, baby. Got a little further, but not quite. So then I had to size the valleys in the mountains up here. Sometimes you're in the valley, sometimes you're on the mountain. And saw the area that I thought I might be able to get up. So we gave it full force, cut the angles, and boom, made it to where it starts to level off. Comes around the bend, and there's that house. Wow. I'm always, you know, pictures can show stuff, but in person, it's like trying to take a picture of the Grand Canyon. Doesn't work till you're there in person. They do a lot of outdoor concerts here. Hello. Came around the bend and there was the house. And then the driveway does a split right there. You can go to the right or kind of still go forward, but it was all up, up, up. And I thought, this is far enough. So I kind of pulled off to the side. And I thought, well, I'll blow my horn. So I blew my horn. Beep, beep. Maybe beep, beep, beep. Maybe beep, 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 yeah. And that way they might know I was there. I didn't see anybody. Got out of the car. And all of a sudden, here came some inquiring dogs. Now remember, I think at that point I'd heard how evil and wicked these people were and tormented their animals and, you know, hung them by their toes or something, you know, who knows. There was constantly stuff like that going on. But hey, I'd never been there for all I knew. You know, who knows? Well, these dogs came up, checked me out. I'm a dog person. I let them smell my boots, you know, all that, the dogs. And they decided, hey, he's all right. So I thought, okay, this is good. I like dogs, and these dogs are nice. So they weren't, they didn't seem scared to death or beat to a pulp. They definitely hadn't been starved to death. So, looked okay on the dog part. Just that initial getting out of the car. Okay, I'm gonna see what this says first, just to pause a second. If the sages ask thee why this charm is wasted on the earth and sky, tell them, dear, that if eyes were made for seeing, then beauty is its own excuse for being. Sorry, Felicity, if you're listening. I kind of bounced from American to British to maybe a dab of Scottish and a spot of Irish, mangling all in one good bundle. Okay. I'm going to share this at the risk of sharing something special that just gets, you know, it's these nuggets that you hand out there sometimes that make you tick. And we're all different. We all have different personalities and what I guess birth paths. And I mean, God's a God of variety. Some are very cut and dry and just like the data, and others are very creative and imaginative, and somehow it all works. And we have, you know, everything function. And sometimes you have artists, and sometimes you just have guys that are awesome engineers, and so I'm what I is. I see, that's pretty. When I got out of the car, not knowing if I was entering, you know, a den of iniquity, though I had had my couple experiences there, it didn't seem bad. But I mean, this is the location where this happened. I mean, that was heavy. All of a sudden, it's like, this is where it happened. This is where she disappeared. You know, and, it just all starts coming to you kind of fast. So I'm not going to put it all into words, but it's all the above comes out of you at the same time when you pull up and see the house. And especially when you've been a part of the website so much, and been at some of those times where you've seen their grief, you know about other stuff, you've heard a bunch of silly stuff, you've heard a bunch of stuff that's wild that you don't know if it's true or not. So it just all rushes at you at the same time. And working on the site, you know, there is that, you know, feeling of responsibility. The responsibility is just huge. So I get out of the car. I'm going to tell you what the first thing that happened. These aren't things you think about. It's just, this is what happened to me. Because you're asking, why did you get involved? Why did you do this? How did you get involved? When I got out of the car, you look up the grass. It's a sloping yard that goes to the house. Driveway on your left and right, looping around it. And I'm at the base of that where they split. You can look at the aerial shots, or you can, you know, the drone footage that we took, or on a map. It's right there where it splits is where I was at. And I got out of the car, looked up at the house, and the first thing that just suddenly came to me was this little girl running down through that yard yelling, "Tim." I gotta stop, hang on. Sorry. This one's too close. So that was like the first, just pretend it's like your brain has a photo camera attached to it. That was like my first video clip or something that just suddenly happened, and it was like, whoa. And it wasn't a vision, let me make that clear. It was, I don't know, it's like you could see it but you didn't see it. It just spontaneously came. And it was like after everything's over and you're visiting and everything's over and the girl's been found, I'll say, and Summer has been found and she's home, and you know, and you pull up and you know, she spots you and comes running down and you know, yells your name, and but it was just quick and brief, but it just kind of, that was part one of showing up at the house. So then I walked on up I think I walked up the driveway on the left there. I'd already told myself, you know, no camera, don't use your phone taking pictures, you know. Because if they are home and they take one look, it's like, oh no, who's this? You know, oh, he took a picture. Yep, he's taking a picture of the shed, you know, and all that stuff, because that was still pretty fresh. So I made a point. If they were watching me, I wasn't going to do anything like that. I just wanted to go up, and hopefully they were outside, but I got up toward the top, myself and the dogs, and they were puppies. The 4 of them were puppies at that point. If I remember right, when I showed up, there were 6 total. There was a blue-eyed daddy, a tan mama, 3 mixed white-black small ones, and 1 little teeny tan one. It was kind of more separated, rolling on its back and its little old fat belly. You know, they were just, I don't know how old they were at that point, but they were very, very small, very, very small, and just having the best time. And they all seemed so happy. It was a nice atmosphere. Once again, I know you hear me say that, but it was like, this is a comfortable place. Totally different than anything really that I'd been around, or maybe, you know, raised around, or anything. It was just different, you know, but it was comfortable. I didn't feel, once again, I wasn't feeling any horrible, terrible feeling. I guess you can't when you have all these little buddy dogs being so fun. Well, I knocked on the door just once. Knock, 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 knock. Just a few times, and I thought, you know, they could be asleep. I said, it's just as good if I leave them a note. So wrote them a simple note, and taped it to their door, and I took a picture of it so I could remember. I tend to do that on notes and stuff I write. And I think it's when I was writing the note, I went over and I put this little torn piece of paper I had on the pickup truck. And I was writing, and I think that's when I turned around, the second peculiar thing. And yes, I guess I'm peculiar. I turned around and I looked, and there was this little tan puppy laying on its back, its fat little belly, teeny little thing. The 3 other ones just kind of jumping at it. The mama dog and the daddy dog standing there looking at me, and I swear, maybe it's just I have too much artist in me or something, but it was like I was looking at the whole family right there. And I looked at that little one, and I almost called it Summer, because it just looked like that little girl and 3 little brothers, and they were all just jumping and rolling with each other, and she was holding her own, and they were running, they were happy, and Dad and Mom were watching. And I'd already done so many pictures. I guess maybe that's what triggered it. You know, working on the website, putting up their pictures, I knew their faces. And that male dog had those blue eyes, and it was like, that's Don. And then the tan one over there, and it's like, well, that's Candus. You know, and then the 3 little black and white ones were the sons, and little and holding her own was Summer. It was literally like looking at the family. And once again, just a good feeling, nothing bad, nothing felt bad at all. And you may say, Tim, man, you are vulnerable. No, I've been around, you know. Good grief, I think I'm older than just about everybody that was a part of this case. And it was a happy yard, a place where a child would feel comfortable playing, running, having fun. You could see toys everywhere, so you knew, well, yep, these children were being children for sure. And so that's what it was. This is a neat mansion. It's actually a city park now. The city bought the place. The property is, of course, scaled way down, but you can. A lot of people have weddings and things like that inside the mansion. The reception's in one of the barns. Even a smiley face on the front door. That's me. Wow. It's been a while since I've been here. I videoed a ladies club here once. Probably got some pictures of the inside of it. So that was the first thing, was feeling like summer, running down the yard, and it's all over, and she's happy, and everybody's happy, and the end of the movie is happy, and you know, everybody has their Kleenex and they're happy, and I gotta play it down. I'll get too serious if not. Next was the happy dogs, all the way to where the 6 of them look just like the whole family. And I had that little one rolling around, grabbed my heart. It just, I don't know why. You know how a little dog will do that, especially if it seems to be the runt, and it was definitely the runt. And I thought it was a she. It actually turned out to be a he. And I had to pop my camera and get some shots of those dogs. I did it real fast, and they're kind of out of focus. But I did end up giving them to Don and Candus. Just saying, hey, this was my first impression of, I saw your whole family in dog form. That was pretty well it, and I decided, well, out of here. And then one more thing happened. I need to pick a different spot. I've had you through here. Just a second. We need to find anybody need to rest? Maybe up here in the farm field, or what's left. Still kind of looks a little like it. Just, you know, whoop, car, you ruined my scene. Pretend that's a big farm field. Yeah, because you had the big dance there. We're in high school then. All that's going on, but of course you kind of had to wander out into the farm, just at least for a few minutes. Sunshine. I think it's open. See if I can take a peek. It's open. I don't think I've been in here since high school. Wow. Talk about the memory bank kicking in. She was gorgeous. Wait, I did come again. Because when I was in my early 20s, we had a sound thing we did where we came and did the dances. When I was younger, I was in a band, but this was, you know, spin the records. Yeah, we came. I remember now. Sinking ship sound. Go down with the ship. That's the last time I was here. Wow. I don't remember that. If it'll focus. My goodness. Yeah. Wow. Mike and I. That's what we did For a season there, we were everywhere doing the dances. I kept the lights boogieing to the music, and he did the music DJ part. We didn't DJ then, you just kept the music going, and you said, well, let's get them dancing. Okay, let's get them slowing down. Okay, give them a while to smooch. Wow. Absolutely amazing. Mike's in heaven too. I lost Mike, and then my best friend that I had from junior high into college. We even did a little business stuff together for a while. All three of them passed away in their early 50s. My three main friends down here in this area of Kingsport. One from a liver situation, one from a heart that stopped one morning, and one who had a brain aneurysm while sleeping. So it was pretty strange when I ended up back down here in the Kingsport area. This is something. It really is. Sorry, you're having to walk through this. Huh. So I'm leaving, walking down the upper driveway toward the west, that part that would go straight down to the car. I didn't walk around the house. I didn't go to the back of the house. I didn't go back to where Summer, disappeared, the back door, any of that. But I was leaving, and you get to the turn to where it then swings to the left and heads down the driveway. And there's a view right there where they'd cut the trees. And that view, wow. I got people on my mind. I'll give you a secret, I never got over her. Okay, into that. Now, this is what it was. Very strong cattle. When you came in on 11W, which was the only way really coming in, the main way, you saw this first thing in Kingsport you saw was this mansion. These aren't puppy dogs here. Hello. And hello. Right there at the turn in the driveway where they'd cut the trees. It was beautiful because we're at the end of August, but everything is green. Gorgeous. But there was like a mist down there. This was in the evening. I'll have to look at the pictures and try to get the time clock. But it was the evening. But it wasn't really evening yet. We're in August, so it stays light a long time. But I don't know. It was just kind of a mist down there. It was gorgeous. And I looked, and call me crazy, I'll put the picture up. But it was literally like I heard. It was either I've heard the prayers, or I've heard your prayers, or your prayers have been answered. It was something like that. And I had to take a picture. I thought if they're looking, I've got to get a picture of this moment. because none of these were planned. They were just like little girl running to me, Summer saying, Tim, happy animals, and the little teeny one, which later I named Puddle, P-U-D-D-L-A, because every time I came over, that little one would run down. Puddle, the tan little one that I thought was a female, but she was a male, and he was a male, and would get on my feet, and I'd say, I'm going to step on you like a puddle, and that was Puddle. So you could say like Puddle kind of became my dog, but I didn't have a place where I could have took him, or I would. I'd have took him, and I'd have took his sister. I would have taken both Puddle and Butterscotch if I could have, because those two were brother sister, both tan, just very connected. Butterscotch was super shy, just so timid, so scared to be. I worked with her a long time, and then she finally really, we bonded. Happily, she has a really good owner right now. So I took a picture, and I'll show you the picture. Went down, got in the car, and gently went down the driveway. I kind of laughed listening to Chris McDonough describe his first experience on the driveway. I'm a little more familiar with it because I'm familiar with this area. But it's like, well now, and theirs is easy. That's just, I mean, this is mountain territory. So, I mean, the goal is just get home. And everybody can drive it. Everybody has trucks, and everybody works on cars. Everybody uses a lot of duct tape on their cars. Newer ones are definitely built a lot better. Our goal when we were young was try to get a vehicle that at least hit 100,000 miles. That pretty well used every bit of duct tape you had. About the time you hit 100,000, you went, did it! And the doors would fall off and the engine would roll down the street. So out I went on Ben Hill, headed back. There's no signal, but eventually I got back toward Kingsport where there's a signal, and I let Robin know. I said, Robin, I just wanted you to know I went by to try to meet them, but they weren't home, and I get a text back real fast and said, was that you? Or something like that. They sent me a text and said, your friend was here at the house. Because I think on there I'd written, this is Tim Mullen, you know, a friend of Robin's that you know, Robin Lane that you know. And they said, we were home. We didn't hear him. I said, oh my, well, that's okay. I guess I was polite enough that I didn't disturb them. So they knew I'd been there, and that was like, you know, I guess a big step. They didn't, I think they just, well, they just probably thought it was funny. I was there and they didn't hear me. That was an absolutely key moment for everything else that was going to go on, that I would be helping with. Because now I'd met them, I met their home, their house, their dogs, their pets. I saw how much of this stuff being said was incorrect or totally dot. But those three images, her running down the yard, happy with all that being over, the happiness of those dogs, well taken care of, free, none of them were nervous, none scared, nothing. They were just happy as could be, happy animals, well taken care of. I think, and then that vision, not a vision, but the visual of looking down into that valley and seeing that absolutely gorgeous, and just feeling like prayers have been heard. And just inside me, I said, we're going to find her. It's true, false. It didn't matter to me because it anchored in me, I guess what you call the foundation. The foundation was, in my mind, I'd already seen her home and safe. I saw an atmosphere of a home, and the yard that was going to be happy. And I saw this absolutely gorgeous scene that just put me at such rest. Just my spirit just at such rest, like all is well. And I've lived off that since then, because you look at the symptoms, nothing matched. Nothing matched that. But I would read stuff and I would see stuff, and all that happened that we all know about, or you do. I mean, what we would call the chaos and the dysfunction, and the on one aspect, on another aspect, the intensity of the loss, the intensity of emotions. Watching people wrestle not only with grief but with fear and other emotions, and plus on top of that, just this whole digital world that they had been dumped into. There's two worlds. I've said it before. There's the real world, like what we're looking at, and that's what most people over a certain age understand. Then there's the digital world, and the digital world is just as real, and the older folks are still learning that, but it's real in an unreal way. It's just completely different. And so they had that on them also. And that doesn't mean they didn't know, yes, Candus knew how to put stuff on TikTok. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the world of the internet, of the digital world. It's all based, this is the paradox to me. The digital world and all that's there, the internet, the gobs of horrendousness, the filth. There's hardly a child that doesn't end up seeing something you wish they'd never seen before they're even aged to know better about anything. I mean, it's just so much knowledge. It's like going to a buffet bar and just you never leave and you never quit eating until you just get so ill and sick. That's the digital world. But it's based on, this is how powerful it really is. And I remind the devil of this all the time. I said, this is how powerful your great digital world is that I'm not too impressed with. I like God's better. Like, create me a blade of grass or create me a duck, Satan. Of course, he can't create anything. But the digital world needs either batteries or a plug outlet. Take away both, it's nothing. Absolutely nothing. The bizarreness is what all it can do to other humans or present them. Those were my three. So with all this other going on, I just kept thinking, nope, I'm going to see her run down that yard. It's going to be a happy place and a happy yard. It's going to be all the beauty that God made around it, from the mountains to the valleys that surrounds the property. I have not a clue how it's ever going to get to that spot, but that's where I'm locking in on. And that was my solid foundation of how and why I could continue helping. People ask, how can you do that? You ruin your reputation. And it's like, I don't have a reputation, or this is my reputation, or however you answer that. It's funny, I don't know how to end this one. So those are the three things that anchored my foundation. Some would say, well, that's just a dream. That's a pretty good dream for me. I'm sticking to that dream. And I could just keep helping. Look into that moment. I really hope that's how it is. I really, really do. And it might be like this. Mom and Dad, the three boys, and they're gonna go, where's Summer? She's over there exploring something.